really, this was one of my favorite movies. My dad was in the Air Force, and being an Air Force brat, I was exposed to a lot of just subtle things. I didn't know a lot of things, but I knew I experienced the travel, I experienced the exposure to different countries, and then my dad was in the communication squadron, so I saw he brought home maps and you know other kinds of paraphernalia. We know this is the U.S. military is real, and just the idea of communication and the way we since 9/11 we lost our privacy. Basically, we lost our human rights. We gave it over willingly out of fear. And the idea of what our privacy is from that time of that movie, because that was like, he was talking about 2G. This is 5G world now. And so, comparing to what we talked about in The Matrix, and then what we talked about in the Avatar movie, how there is a virtual reality and then there's a consciousness that we always have to be aware of, and that we, by staying connected with nature, by doing your deep breathing, meditation, we need to start thinking in terms of our internal internet.
And I wanted to get on a couple of fine points. I'm ex-Navy guy, worked with nuclear power. I was a radio man, and we did a lot of IT stuff, and anything else I'd have to, hunt y'all down. But a lot of this equipment, a lot of the equipment I've seen since I've gotten out of the Navy on the corporate side, working for different corporations, the capacity of corporations to put their interests out there and hire vendors who just go out and build systems that replace people, allow central control. This is what the capacity is right now, and not so much worried about the government, because you saw the lawyer when he got in a tough situation. He didn't have to go out and get all the guns. He just had to take the person with this many guns and put them in a room with the person with this many guns, and just get out the way. And it's a lot of the strategies that the arch villain, the arch villain who killed the senator, he was saying that people gave up their freedom, and the reason they gave up their freedom is because the threat risk is a single individual that has access to any of the nuclear weapons, has some basic, bomb-making ability, and that person going to one of our large events and causing catastrophic damage, even more than the 2,500, or one time it was 4,000 people who died in 9/11. So when you're protecting a lot of your interests around the world, and you're training a lot of people around the world, like I think it's AFRICOM does in Africa, and like the School of America does down in South America, you're creating more risk coming back at you from the people that you train to assist you in your different missions. One of the books that we have here is from Freeway Rick Ross, and the other one is his 21 Keys to Success, where one of the authors goes around and actually talks about what methods, what principles he operated in, despite the fact that he was illiterate, and despite the fact that he didn't have a college degree. He was able to build this empire. So, yeah, this is the new 21 Keys of Success, Riding with Rick. That's by Coley Crutcher. And the original book, in this book, The Untold Autobiography by Rick Ross and Kathy Scott. In this book, Freeway is the distributor. And basically what happens, without getting a spoiler, the cops from his city that were distributing it out to the cities, they were the most vulnerable people in this whole thing. Of course, the CIA and the Iran-Contra with Oliver North, all of those people were protected under executive orders. So those are the main people who did time, and the also Freeway did time. And it's so easy for you to move from one level of government, messing with the FBI, to hitting that level where you got to be real careful about who you're dealing with. One of the reporters that broke the whole Iran-Contra story, I think he actually committed suicide in a hotel by shooting himself in the head twice. So it's the big piece on the movie. We can all live in a world of fear, or we can all actually start realizing the opportunity of us to address some of the issues that we have in our community, like the latchkey children, like the fact that we're underinvested in our retirement, so now the grandparents are at home alone. So when we start looking at the capacity of this technology to solve our local issues, then that's when it really gets exciting. That's when we want to invest in our young people, get them involved with STEM education. And I saw a conference today. Where they had the youth working and doing urban planning with the STEM education tools. And that's right here in Kansas City. And they were sitting and it looked like they were doing a charrette, and they were identifying all the resources and what we could actually do. That happened right here in Kansas City today. I believe the mayor was involved with that, and Brother Wells. So it's important that we realize that the work that they'll be able to do to solve some of the solutions, we might not even understand. We just know we could just track the metrics and the numbers. And we had that same opportunity to solve these problems here in the city.
By the way, these books are some of the selections that we have. This is EMWOT. EMWOT stands for East Meets West of Truth. This is our Sunday, and we're getting ready to transition and call it the Metaphysical Movie Matinee.
Right.
3 M's. But we also have a Wednesday production, and it's moving. It's gaining momentum. It just launched, called MWAT, the Green Griot Gathering, and the Art of Economic Development. And then shortly after that, at 12, we have a class that we're just now re-engaging of a book study. And some of these books will be on hand. And I know I have pictures of people who have purchased these books from Rick Ross. And you're invited to come, bring your book, and we can actually take time, and we're going to read. We're going to open it chapter by chapter and actually read and digest this study. And so I also wanted to add that we'll also be helping with resumes. We do IT services, so creating a small website, a simple website, if you need business cards, things of that nature, that will also be included because it's a literacy program. And so just inviting people for luncheon on Wednesday, that's following the Griot Gathering. It's a live news and current events presentation sponsored by East Meets West of Truth. All right.
So we'll be following the rest of the week. We're gonna go ahead and upload this, and I'm gonna go back through and add some comments, add some links for the different technology. You can get your kids involved. Ask them what these links mean.
Yeah,
And
they probably know more than we do.
Yeah.
I know my grandson tells me a lot of stuff. He kind of keeps me up to date. But the idea of 5G has been a controversy. It's been a fear because people are thinking about the radiation and the carcinogens by being exposed to the towering and the wiring systems. We're already exposed. We already have this electrical device that's radioactive up to our heads. And the idea of putting even those, I've heard even putting those Wi-Fi links into your head, you're still exposing yourself to radiation. And our children are being exposed. Even small babies are using tablets, and the tablets are getting into their hands and exposed to their chest area. But the idea that we need to do a balance of being able to work in our innerverse, leave your phone behind. We usually have also a winter solstice, the autumnal equinox, the vernal equinox, and the summer solstice. We celebrate that, and we leave our baggage behind, our phones and other electrical stuff, and then we just go out into nature. We go to the Freedom Fountain. We do a libation, pouring water and reconnecting to the Freedom Fountain water system. That water system connects to the Blue River and to the Missouri River. And we did a libation and reconnected with the Native Americans with the Dakota Access Pipeline.
And we stay on top of these issues. I wanted to give a perspective of right now the city has been basically identified that this is the most dangerous place, I think, in the world. We have the worst mortality rate for young black males here in Kansas City. When you take the top 5 factors, top 6 factors, this is the most unhealthy place. So when you're looking at a situation like that, and you added on 5G, what you want to bring it in as a tool is, this will help me monitor my health. This will help me monitor my blood pressure. This will help me monitor my blood sugar. And when you bring those things in and you're reducing the mortality rate, that is when we start talking about acceptable exposure. But if the studies aren't out there for why are we bringing it in, I definitely think in the urban areas for African Americans, they need to get ready for 5G because their life is on the line, and a lot of the equipment and technology can really help them monitor many of those issues.
And the irony is, even though we have our cell phones and we do our selfies, there's still a big chasm of communication, a digital divide, so to speak, in that a lot of people don't read, they don't take the knowledge to and this is the era where now you can go to the libraries online. You can download free books. At certain dates, they just download and give you access to some of the philosophy books and science books and technology books. And you can, Khan University, for instance, you can learn almost anything for free and not have to take college classes. But the idea that we need to up our game, so to speak, in using the technology instead of being, in a cell on the cell phone and just, becoming a couch potato and, having a limited access. We need to, like I said, put down the phones and actually start interacting with one another. But on this, in this objective, I hope that you will please make your comments. Give me a black fist or 5 fists, 0 to 5 fists as far as a rating for the movie itself. The primary character was Will Smith in this particular role. He worked on an upper echelon economically, and how that role plays in a positive in that he doesn't fit the stereotype. He's actually upwardly mobile. But please make your comments. You can talk and communicate throughout the entire week. Thank you for listening to MWOT, the movie matinee.
All right.